Bertje from Duca Consulting, and today we're talking AI in the PMO. And with us today is Jacob from Projectum. I'm going to hand over to him in a second. He will introduce himself. But yeah, thank you for joining. And Jacob, over to you.
Thank you very much. And lovely to meet you, both you online live now, and also later on we will share the recording. So probably we will also have a lot of people listening in after the live event. So welcome. My name is Jacob. I'm representing Projectum. Projectum is a part of the digital neighborhood, and Dubco is one of our partners in your area. So today's topic is that yes, AI can make the PMO stronger. And what does we actually mean with it? Yeah, we will use 45 minutes to elaborate on artificial intelligence, and we will elaborate on the project portfolio management story. First of all, my name is Jacob. I'm head of the partner channel at Projectum, responsible for plus 30 partners, Dubco, one of them. And we have been doing for 20 years project portfolio management stuff. We will also present to you today Microsoft technologies and a Power app that we built where you'll see AI live. Well, first of all, let me introduce you to the AI story. Very fast, I will not go through the entire history book. AI has been around for really, really many years. And I think it started out by, first of all, just being a computer, right? And then people have some kind of strange picture of AI, because right now everything is AI, right? You cannot go to LinkedIn one day without learning about AI, but let us today break AI down. And throughout the years, the AI way of talking has been more and more sophisticated. And in 2021, generative AI was actually AI that came to the public, where you and me as a business user, as a personal user, could start leverage the capabilities of AI. So that means that actually we could start learning from written visuals and auditory content from prompts. So you know it, you go to a prompt, you write something, create a picture, and they create a picture for you. Before it was really deep learning, machine learning. You need probably to be a professor just to understand it. Let us open up the 2023. In 2023, ChatGPT, OpenAI, came to everyone's attention. We're talking about an advanced language model. It actually understand human languages. So I could actually both speak and I could write with it, and it actually will respond to me as it was a human being. So OpenAI came to everyone's attention when they start using the OpenAI service on the webpage of OpenAI. Let us open up generative AI and the ChatGPT OpenAI. Throughout 23, a lot of new services came to the public. It could be text to pictures. Create a picture of Jacob being at a beach with a drink in his hand. And then actually it will start creating a picture and provide the picture directly in the chat interface. Now, multimodal capabilities like sound, text to pictures, videos, all came. So now you actually can produce music with AI. So I think you have all probably experienced what AI can do, or at least you have seen it, what it can do. Now, at the end of 23, now in 24, ChatGPT came up with a 4.0, 4.5 turbo engine. And that means that probably every week, every month, a new version of the GPT engine is probably also announced. And today, actually last week, Microsoft announced that they have a GPT 4.0 now public available. It gets faster. It gets more clever, and Microsoft, they are behind the scenes also the brainy here. So Microsoft, they took this generative AI, they took the OpenAI, they actually bought half of the company. So today, Microsoft offers artificial intelligence, generative AI in 3 different products when you open up the Microsoft landscape. The one product is called Copilot. Then we have AI Builder, and then we have Azure OpenAI. So let us open up the Microsoft world. Let's look at what Microsoft are doing in the eco landscape of AI and Microsoft. Well, In November 22, the OpenAI had a very, very fast accelerated journey. Actually, everything runs on Azure. So even if it was OpenAI and you go to the public OpenAI website, it actually runs on the Microsoft Azure instance. That means it's actually powered by Azure, by Microsoft. And Azure is scalable. And as you see here in this graph, Netflix took 1,250 days to create 1 million users of their services, like movie, right? OpenAI, they did that just in 3 days, right? From November 30 to December 4th, right? 1 million users were generated. And then by today, you see now billions of monthly web visits on OpenAI. So it really needs some compute power behind the scenes. And Microsoft is on that Azure landscape with that compute power. Microsoft has put AI into 3 different boxes. One box is Customer GPT, Azure OpenAI. Azure OpenAI is the same capability as you know from the OpenAI website, just in a controlled and protected environment. That means that you use the same OpenAI GPT engine, that could be 3.5, 4.0 Turbo, etc., but it's on your data, on your Azure. The problem with OpenAI website is that if you put your company data into the OpenAI website, you're actually having a risk for your company because you put your private data into a public website. So Azure OpenAI is exactly the same, just on your protected Office 365 infrastructure on your Azure tenant. Then Microsoft has chatbots. That's what they call Copilot. And Copilot Studio is a tool for developers, and not even developers, for you as me as citizen developers, where we can create AI capabilities with a chat interface, just as you know. So I can create a chat, and I can actually also configure that chat to be very specific to my company. I can put policies to it. We are not allowed to talk about war or violence in our company, so I can put restrictions to my chatbot in my company. So it's like a customizable AI capability just in Office 365. Microsoft has created different copilots. They have created Copilot for sales. They have created Copilots for Microsoft 365, so your Office space, but also on the Power Platform, we now see Copilots around. So be very aware that Microsoft is pushing the Copilot story very hard. And that's where you're going to have this chat interface with chatbots, where you can actually ask in Microsoft Teams, when do I have the next meeting with Bert? And this way it will actually help me go through my calendar and respond to my question, just on my data in my Office 365. Then the last one, that is in-app AI boosters. We're calling AI Builder. So with AI Builder and in-app, I bring AI away from a website, away from a chatbot, but into a business application. That's what we're going to see today, where we take a project portfolio management tool and we bring AI Builder into that tool, so that when I'm working in my app, I can use AI. For instance, please create a project schedule for my project. Please create risk for my risk register. So I put AI in context of my business process. So that's where AI Builder comes very handy. So we need to be aware of 3 different Microsoft technologies, capabilities, and today we're going to see number 3 really in play, because that's where we're going to bring AI into different apps. Now, how do we infuse project portfolio management with AI, and can we actually do it? The short answer is yes, we can do it. And now we have election coming up in the US, so why not take this this guy? Yes, we can. But actually, how can we bring AI into project portfolio management? Yeah, Projectum created Power PPM, and Power PPM is the project portfolio management system where we take AI technologies combined with a project portfolio management tool, and now we bring Power PPM that is AI boosted and available for you. So let's take a look at Power PPM and what Power PPM can do and how it works together with AI use cases. First of all, this is the Microsoft landscape. If we open up the Microsoft Cloud, we will see Microsoft has created in 2018-19, they created Microsoft Power Platform. In the Microsoft Power Platform, we can build business applications. We can build a project portfolio management system that brings those project management capabilities to the table of a project manager or to the table of a portfolio manager, a risk manager, a strategic officer, all those people that actually are using AI capabilities and also are looking for project portfolio management capabilities. They will be around in Office 365. We have Azure, and on Azure, we have a database, and that database contains our data, but in the Microsoft Cloud protected. And that's where we're going to take the OpenAI engine, logic, learning models, etc., and apply it to the Azure data and also to the Power Platform data. Again, Microsoft, they have the AI Builder as a service, they have Copilot, and they also have M365 and Planner, which are project portfolio management capabilities. A lot of our customers, they're also looking for integrations to other line of business systems. That might be that they are doing their financial in a SAP system. That might be that they are doing detailed agile planning in Jira, in Microsoft DevOps, Azure boards. So there might be new sales opportunities coming in from Salesforce. So we can actually, with Microsoft connectors, premium connectors, we can connect outside line of business data into the project portfolio management, also making it available for AI. So by the end of the day, you could put in an opportunity in Salesforce, move it to project portfolio management system, and let AI help you evaluate the data. Around the Microsoft ecosystem, Projectum built Power PPM. Power PPM is a model-driven Power App, and that is where the magic around project portfolio management exists. We have Time for Teams, which is a time-sheeting capability. In Microsoft Teams, we have Team Planner, which is a resource management capabilities for resource management, for project managers and resource planners to agree on resources and projects. We have What If, which is a simulation tool where I can do a simulation on projects. What will happen with my money? What will happen with my strategy? And what will happen with my resources? Presented, you're going to see that today I can create automatic generated PowerPoints. So by a push of a button, I can create a Steerco report in PowerPoint or in a Word file, and then send it to my project participants. Power Hub is an Azure-driven database. I call it the time machine. It snapshots all historical changes on any data in your project portfolio management system. Those data are stored on Azure, and voila, now we have OpenAI, we have Azure protected data inside our 365 environment. And now I can bring AI to you because we have all historical information stored secure on your Azure tenant. So this is the ecosystem. And we're going to see Power PPM and presented today. The other applications will not be walked through today. So what can we actually do? We can handle both traditional projects and agile projects. We can do everything from very agile projects where we have DevOps, Jira integrations, or very traditional project, which could be a construction project building a highway that is probably more traditional flavored with mythology than an agile app development. We can work with programs. A program can consist of many projects. We can have a program budget distributed to projects, but we can also have 10 projects with each 1 million. And those 10 times 1 million are aggregated into the program budget of 10 million. So it can be a bottom-up, but also a top-down approach from the program. We can create roadmaps, and we can create different portfolios. Every time we create a portfolio, I can create a portfolio for the IT department. I can create a product portfolio. I can create a strategy portfolio. And the strategy portfolio actually connects to objectives and key results of the company. So with OKR, I can put in strategy. I can put in your company's strategy into the tool. I want to grow my company 20%. How do we want to do that? I'm going to do marketing. I'm going to create 2 new products. If I create a new product, I will link that new product to my product portfolio. I will link the strategy to the strategy portfolio and marketing activities to a marketing portfolio. So this way I can connect high-level strategy for the company all the way down to agile development or traditional execution of a project. That is what you can do with Power PPM. So Power PPM covers 10 management disciplines. You can work as a strategy officer with strategy management, portfolio officer, portfolio manager with the portfolio management. You can work as a controller, project manager with financial management in projects, program manager with program management, innovation management, funneling ideas, let that come into your portfolio, evaluate the idea against each other and make them prioritized in the portfolio. That is innovation management. Product management is related to digital product development. If you create software, then you could put in software as a product manager, not a project, but a product manager. And then you could actually work with your product. You can create epics, you can create features, and those features can be synchronized with Jira DevOps. Resource management is applied everywhere, on portfolio level, project level, initiative level, also at strategy level. How many people do we need the next 3 years in our company if we expect a growth of 20%? Then we have risk management. You can work as a project manager, risk manager, where you can monitor risk on project portfolio level, and even as a program manager, you can also aggregate risk from projects into your program. And change management is change management in terms of ProSci, where you evaluate your business case against the impact on businesses, and then you put in a change assessment of your project. You score your project, and your project will get scored with a one scoring number, and that number will tell how big impact your project will have against the organization that should receive the product of the project. We can open up the capabilities. So the Projectum products and the suite of products offer you to create epics, financial ideas. You can read all the great boxes. One box is very important for today's topics. Let us open one of the boxes today, look at AI and which use cases we actually created in this ecosystem where AI should help a project manager, where AI should help a strategic officer, where AI should help a portfolio manager. So that's what we're going to look at today. So first of all, let's take the perspective of PMI. Probably you are familiar with the Project Management Institute and the PIM book. Project Management Institute, they conducted a survey about AI, and they has a strong opinion of where should AI help project managers in the future. They came up with this very simple graph where on the one axis you have the machine learning all the way to the human. So where is the balance between what are human doing and what are the machine/AI? And then you have the complexity of the use cases, very low complexity to very high complexity. They put up 3 categories: automating, assisting, augmenting. So in the automating category, PMI believes that machine AI could help automating meeting summary, report generation, lessons learned. Assisting a project manager, that could be in scheduling creation, that could be in risk analysis, etc. And augmenting is probably where the human being is still more in loop versus AI. That could be creating a business case, creating some decisions around projects and portfolios. So with those 3 categories, automating, assisting, and augmenting, we took those categories and elaborated in Projectum where should we bring in use cases and where should we combine it with Microsoft technology and which kind of the Microsoft technology. So we learned earlier that we have Azure AI, we have Copilot and AI Builder. So in automation, we believe that Copilot could be really, really great as a Microsoft technology to help you creating meeting note summary. You can go to Microsoft Teams after this meeting. It has been transcribed. I could actually ask Copilot, what was the summary? What did Jacob tell? Yeah, he speak all the time. So probably Jacob is the only one in that meeting that talked. And this is now the summary of 45 minutes of AI webinar. Report generation. We think that AI Builder in-app context will bring you the capabilities. Complexity is low because it's not that difficult. And you will see that today, how you can actually create a report with AI insights. Lessons learned. Then we have the assistance category, scheduling, risk analysis, and also large data set analyze. And here we are using Azure OpenAI and also Copilot. Talking about augmentation, we will see a combination where Copilot and Azure OpenAI could go hand in hand to help you make better decisions in your company. So in this slide, we have now 9 different use cases, and we'll bring them even closer to the project manager. So what we did is that we created objectives and key results, so the strategy module in Power PPM, where with AI Builder, you can actually propose and create and break down your company strategy with help of AI. You can create a project schedule as a project manager with help of AI. You could do a risk analysis with AI. You can do status reporting and let actually AI write the status report for you. Then we have lessons learned. We can walk through a lot of lessons learned across many old projects and actually suggest learnings to the new project that we just created. Then I have transcription. I will show today that I can go into a transcription in Microsoft Teams. And with that transcription, I can move data into my risk log in my project if we discuss risk in that status meeting. I can do portfolio summarization. As a portfolio manager, I can get a portfolio report evaluating on my portfolio and the probably 20 projects that is in my portfolio. And then I can do SWOT analysis. So when I create a new idea, I could actually let AI create a SWOT analysis on that idea that will help me understanding the benefits and the weaknesses and complexity around my idea. And then I could probably use my SWOT analysis for help me making a decision to run the idea or not. So with those 8 use cases, my job is now in 20 minutes to go into the system, try to do a live demo, and try to walk you through different technologies of Microsoft AI and the different use cases. So with that said, let's jump directly into demo mode. And often what I said in demo mode is that what can go wrong in a live demo. So let's see. First of all, I want to bring your attention to Bing, because throughout the last 15 years, I've been a Google guy, right? I use Google every time. You see it in my browser up here. It's still my favorite browser. But you should know that you could now go to Bing, and maybe for the first time, you'll start using Bing, because actually you have Copilot right in your Bing browser. And what is actually Copilot? Copilot is actually that AI experience that you know from OpenAI. The big difference is that if you go to Bing, let's see that I'm logged in with my business account into my Bing browser. I'm right now in a green protected environment. That means that my personal and company data are protected. So if you go to OpenAI, you are unprotected. If you use Bing browser, then your company data will be protected. So that's my best advice. Instead of deploying a lot of company data into OpenAI, go to Bing and be in a controlled environment. Right now, I'm in a web mode, meaning that I can use this service without any licenses. It's actually free. Now, I could also switch to work mode. So in work mode, I can now be in a licensed model. So right now, I have a license for Copilot, but now Copilot will work on any company data. I could ask, when do I have the next meeting with Oscar? And then it will tell me, oh, you have a meeting with Oscar now in 9 hours, and you should prepare for this and this. So there's a big difference between being in Bing mode, being in Copilot mode, being in a protected mode for free without license, and then go to a work mode where you actually have a license. This Copilot also work in Office 365. So if I open up my Office 365 and if I go to my Outlook or if I go to my Microsoft Teams, I will have the same license Copilot in Microsoft Teams. Well, that was the first. The next thing that we should be aware of is that if I open up Microsoft Office 365, then as a project manager, I could actually, without having a PPM tool, I could have different Microsoft services helping me as a project manager, where Microsoft already combined AI Copilot with tools. One example is that if you're a project manager And as a project manager, you want to have information from your project team. Microsoft has created Microsoft Forms. And Microsoft Forms is a great example where you could create a lot of questions, send it to some people and get some responses. That could be to a company party. But as a project manager, you could go into Microsoft Forms with Copilot and ask my project team about the project performance and how fun it is to work with me as a project manager. Instead of me now creating 10 different questions for my project team, I could let Copilot create those questions. So within these 20 seconds, it now start creating, in this case, 10 questions. I could create more questions. I could refine it. I could keep it. So now I actually have a form filled out and it's ready to launch. So I could just hit that collect response button, send it to my project team, and now I will have a survey right in the hand of my project team or my project stakeholder. So just take Copilot and Microsoft Forms and use it together. That is one use case where I think it's great that Copilot can help us. Now, another thing is great is Microsoft Whiteboard. I'm a project manager and I'm about to elaborate in a team meeting about my project or about a new idea. So what I could do is that let's take the use case of today. We have an AI webinar. And if we want to grow our AI webinar to have more and more participants, what kind of ideas can I bring to that idea and later on to the project? I can go to Microsoft Whiteboard. I can suggest with Copilot, I can put in grow my webinar business with 20% from 100 participants online and gross profit of 100,000 euro. Now Copilot will create a lot of post-it that could be used in my idea generation. It could also be in a project workshop. I could even create more. Now it created 6 post-it. Now it has 12 ideas. Now I put in 6 more, 18, and now I have 24 different ideas that actually could help me as a project manager or any project team member in the ideation of this. Now with those post-its, I need to categorize them because else I cannot have an overview. So I could actually let Copilot categorize those 24 post-it. With one click, it will now ask me, please generate a categorization of this. So imagine you're a project manager in a workshop. Use Whiteboard Copilot because now it took those post-it and brought it into different categories. And I could now even ask it for a summarization. Please create a summary for me based on this whiteboard with those post-it. And that summary I could now start sharing with my project team if this is the process of review. So what you see now here, it has actually, let me just zoom in a little. It has now created 24 ideas. It has written a summary, and this summary, it could now be shared to people. I could copy this component. I could put it into a Microsoft email. So if I create a new email and I want to send it, what you see now is that I can actually copy paste this component live in, and this is a live component. So if I actually go to my here and write 24th idea by Jacob, and I go back to my email, you can now see it has by Jacob. So it updates live the component in my email. It's a really, really great way for project managers to work with project teams using a Copilot. So enough of that. This was a Copilot outside project portfolio management. Let me take AI into project portfolio management. Now, in project portfolio management, I also have AI working. So what you're looking at right now is you're looking at Power PPM. Power PPM is the project portfolio management tool that Projectum has created. It's a Microsoft Power app. And as it is on the Power Platform, I can also use Copilot directly with my project portfolio management system. I could start asking questions. How many initiatives do I own as a project manager? So the difference is here. Before we used Copilot in Microsoft application. Now I use Copilot in conjunction with Project Portfolio Management System. So I could ask any question to my data in my Project Portfolio Management System with the Copilot assistant. Show me a list of the initiatives that I own, and now I get them on here. I can click here, and then I can show all Jacob's project in one single list. So this is just an example of how Copilot also could work directly in app context. Now, the next thing is that we're going to create an idea, and that idea is up for the first use case. The first use case is to create a a SWOT analysis. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to call up my virtual PMO assistant. I'm going to greet it because it's morning time here in Denmark. And when I say hi to my chatbot, I could now start using the services that this virtual PMO assistant has. So I can create projects and I can create idea. I can create a status report. I can ask the IT department for support, or I could also have a controlled AI chat. So one example could be that if I'm a project manager and if I am certified PMI project manager, then I've been learned the PM book. But if I do not remember the PM book, I could actually ask my AI chat about what is the PM book, what are the stages, what are the knowledge areas. So this is just one example of having a chat interface where we're using Azure AI underneath on internal documents, because this could actually be stored in internal documents. It could be my procedures of how I, as a project manager, should work in my company. Now, let us create the idea. And the idea is to create an idea that should grow our webinar. So let's create an idea, create the idea, and my chat will ask for the name. So this will be Better AI webinar. What is the description? Yeah, grow my webinar business with 20%. And maybe focusing on AI and online marketing. This description is put into the idea, and the chat will continue asking some question I have prepared in the chat. That could be an overall budget, that could be an overall benefit. And once the system has created all the questions, I get a link, and now I will be right in my idea box on this new Better AI webinar. And as we see, I'm in the capturing of this idea. So to make a decision around this idea, I need to prepare more information. Right now, I have a return on investment of 9 because I put in a benefit and I also put in a cost. I will associate it with my portfolio of 24-25. I will give it a proposed start and end date for the idea. Maybe I will make a strategic fit. Maybe I will categorize my idea as a growth potential. This way, I now have categorized my idea against a lot of different drivers. Now, first use case is to create a SWOT analysis. By hitting this button, create a SWOT with AI. We're using AI Builder, and we're using open AI technology. So actually, we are going outside our company. We ask for outside-in inspirational. Based on this description, grow my webinar business with 20% from 100 participants online and a gross profit of 100,000 euro focusing on AI and online marketing. That description of my idea, the start and end, the financial data is sent out. I let AI evaluate that data, and AI will come back with a proposal of my SWOT analysis. And around 1 minute later, while it's running, on screen, I will now be presented with the SWOT analysis. So let me just, for the sake of the demo, just try refresh. Now you see, it has now created a SWOT analysis with strengths, with weaknesses, with opportunities, and with threats. This information could help anyone in the company evaluate if this idea is a great idea, a bad idea, should we approve it or not. So let us move this on to the next stage for a decisioning. So to make a decision, I've been reading my SWOT analysis. I understand the SWOT analysis. So I'm going to go to my portfolio of 24-25, because in my portfolio of 24-25, I associated the idea. So if I go to this idea box, I will have all my ideas coming in for this portfolio. So as a portfolio manager, innovation manager, I could start evaluated against each other. On my left side, I have new ideas that has not been rated. On my right side, I have ideas that has been rated. I can make an impact assessment. So by dragging and dropping, this is a must do, this is a don't do, this is a maybe, this is a build. I can now drag in my ideas, impact assess them against each other, revenue growth versus strategic impact, and I will see a scoring to the right. So now my Better AI webinar is in front. I could also make a risk assessment, and I could say it's a high risk, low risk, etc. So I think you get the idea that I can drag and drop my ideas, evaluate them against each other. It could also be projects against project. And I could end up by having a final score. And the final score will now be with my idea here, Better AI webinar. It is now on the 4th place. So it's actually rated as a pretty good idea. If I double click it, I will now go directly into the decision of that idea. Maybe I'll give it a 3-star rating on number 4 or whatever kind of categorization you give it, or prioritization score. We call it a ranking. So now it has been ranked. The idea has been ranked. Now it's ready for the project manager to take over the idea that just has been approved. That means that I will now kick in this idea as a project, and the project will now be created real time. With one click, I will be now exiting my idea into the project. Now I am at a project level, and at project level, I have now created the project automatically based on the idea. Now we come to the next use case. The next use case here on project level is that I have my project stage gate model. So before I start my planning and gate decision and execution of my project, I want to learn this project if there is any lessons learned in older projects that I should be aware of. So first, by setting a start and end date of the project, maybe associate again with my portfolio. I could associate it with a program. I could also associate it with a category. You see the next AI use case here, that is the analyze and suggest. So with this use case of AI, we're using AI Builder, and we're using it on internal data. Right in a minute, I want to show you a repository of lessons learned by project. So I actually have in my solution under collaboration, I have a lessons learned catalog. This lessons learned catalog is a lessons learned catalog for each of my projects. So every time I close a project and there's a lessons learned, I could fill out a lessons learned by project. These lessons learned are all just in this repository. And what we see is that when I run through my analyze and suggest, AI has now proposed lessons learned based on that description up here, based on my project data, the nature of my project, and all the lessons learned that I had in my lessons learned repository. So it's actually an automatic assistant that read through a lot of lessons learned and bring them right to the project manager so that the project manager could start utilizing them in the project. Now, next use case is build a project plan. I will jump from my pipeline into planning mode. So I will jump from pipeline to planning. And in planning mode, I'm about to plan my project. I can create a project schedule based on different templates that has already been created, but I could also start from AI. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to describe in this prompt what our schedulers look like. Create a project schedule for a new webinar about AI, use the PMI methodology from Big Book, and use stages and phases. Now I let AI, and in this case, I'm again using the open AI. So this data is actually sent out of my company to get outside in inspiration. As I wrote, I want to have PMI methodology as applied. It would actually also look for latest PMI methodologies and apply PMI methodologies to my project schedule structure. So this way, I can actually get a lot of outside in inspirational into my company. And with this one click, I now have a project schedule created. If I collapse everything, you could now see that there are even milestones. There are some stages here, not stages, but there are some tasks that are longer duration than other. As a project manager, of course, I can start replan them, but actually the duration here is also evaluated by AI. So AI think that that monitor webinar progress actually will take 3 days and manage webinar changes will take 2 days. So this is an example where I can create a project schedule actually based on AI. Now, let's take it even further to risk management. The next use case here is actually to create risk that are AI created. As you see now in my project, there are no risk. No risk has been created at all. And there are many ways to create risk. Either I just type them in by myself because I know them, but I could also go to my risk module and I could add AI generated risk with this button. Before I do that, I want to showcase a use case with transcription, because maybe in a project team meeting, we discussed the project performance. Right now I'm actually in my project. I'm looking through the latest meeting I had in my Microsoft team, and I had a top of mind meeting. This top of mind meeting, that was a project team meeting where we discussed the project performance. Power PPM and AI now run through that transcription of that Microsoft team meeting with my project participant. And it has now identified 4 risks that we discussed. It has identified 3 changes, and it has identified 1 task. What I can do now is I can actually unclick the risk that we discussed in the meeting. It even has the probability and impact assessment, and it also has a description. So I can now import risk discussed by project team in a Microsoft team meeting into the risk register. So by jumping to the risk register, click the refresh, you'll now see that my risk register has now been populated with 4 risks. And if I do not agree in the assessment of them, then I can drag them around, but they had actually automatically be imported. So very, very nice intuitive way to work with risk. But I could also create risk here. I could say create 10 risk for executing webinar with the topic of AI. Please generate. Now I am prompting with OpenAI and getting, again, sending data out of my company, but to get outside in inspiration, it's a design choice. Of course, I could also have been running through risk in my 100 old projects. But this way, I now have 10 new risk on my right side. And as you see here, there are language barriers, audio visual issues. So of course, I could start drag them around. If I open up a risk, resource constraints, you'll also see that it has put in a description, AI. So I can actually set up AI to also come with a proposal of a mitigation, if that is the way I want to work. Now, as a project manager, I will go to the next use case, because in the next use case, I'm going to create a status report for my project. And I will choose today's date. It's a status meeting every bi-weekly. And I will let AI do a summary of my project. I believe my project is all red. And with the data in my project, it will create a snapshot. Now the data is pretty poor, no budget, no cost. But if I open up that report, AI, as we are speaking, is now writing a status report right in here. So with all the data provided, now we have total zero progress. So the data is not there, but actually AI is writing a summary of my project. And that is a typical use case where we actually, based on the data that we have in my project, I will let AI write the summary. I could even bring it even further close into a PowerPoint, because what I could do is that I could hit the PowerPoint button and I could choose a template. In this case, it could be a project status report with AI, create the report. And what the system does now is that it takes my latest project status report that I have snapshot, and it brings all my data into a PowerPoint, including AI information. So you will see that I have risk created with AI. We just created them, imported from the Microsoft Teams transcription, but we also created 10 risk in my risk register. So I will expect in my PowerPoint now, once I download it, it's already stored on Microsoft Teams. I will open up in PowerPoint on my computer. I will now go in full screen mode, better AI webinar, and everything is red. And I can also start seeing, as you see here, the risk we created with AI. I will have probably some financial information if I put them in, etc. So the PowerPoint is actually automatically generated with the data that we actually created with AI, task data, risk data, etc. Now, I'm going to show you another project that has a lot of data already. So if I go in here into my project center, as a project manager, I go to my project that has been running for many months. In here, you see that on my front page, I have an AI summary button, create new status idea. So what I actually can do in here is that I can write a prompt, act as an experienced project manager, use the data provided and create a project status report of 10 to 15 lines for my steering group, use freestyle summary, use 4,000 character maximum, focus on financial. And what it actually does is that it starts writing a summary based on the transcription. So if you're about to make a report for your CFO, finance officer, you can actually write a prompt that is dedicated for that audience, and then you create a summary. And once you then create the PowerPoint, it can take this description and move it directly into the PowerPoint. Just one use case for project manager. Now, we also learned that I assigned the project to a portfolio. So if I go to the portfolio of 24-25, and in my portfolio of 24-25, you can see that I can create a new portfolio status report. So by hitting this button, I can, as a portfolio manager, create an overview of my entire portfolio. And as you see in my project portfolio, I already have 14 projects running. I have a roadmap where I can see the performance of it, so where the projects start and where they end. But just with one click, I can get one overview created by AI and even some proposal where I should focus. Post-mortem analyze of closed projects, re-evaluate initiative, and monitor stage 3 in this project. So a great use case for portfolio managers to work. And I think that concludes my use cases of AI and Projectum Power PPM and the Microsoft AI technology stack. So thank you for the time and listening in. Over to you, Bert.
Yeah, Jacob, yeah, that's some amazing stuff there. It's super cool how AI is being used in the PMO. And thank you for your time. And thank you for the participants as well. We'll send the recording out as per usual, and we'll also share it on the social media. So guys, have a great day further, and we'll chat soon.
Bye-bye.